Hello, my delicious co-creators. Lilou here from Cyprus, the beautiful island of Cyprus. There's actually Greek and Turkish. We're on the Greek side right now. I'm sitting next to Daniel Mitel. I've interviewed actually 3 weeks ago. And shortly after I met Daniel, I just knew I had to attend his workshop here on the island called Heart Imagery Union with God. That was the title of that one. There is this powerful exercise that I've experienced this weekend that I would love you to have and do with us right now in this video for you to experience it. It has a specific title to it, but for me, it's really pulsating with the universe. I would like to call it, I'm going to rename it, Daniel. No, but it's just this really powerful exercise that makes us feel all interconnected, and it is so beautiful. So Daniel is going to guide us, and he has many other heart imagery, workshops, and throughout his book, the Now is Eternity, right?
This Now is Eternity.
This Now is Eternity is filled with heart imageries and beautiful visualization from the heart. And we're going to actually share with you some of them in the next video that is Tools for Home. These are really practical, and we need practical teachers right now like Daniel. Hands-on, let's do it right now, and let's shift our perception. Let's open ourselves up to all those beautiful possibilities in this magnificent universe, right?
That's true. It is an ancient exercise. It's coming, people think it's Tibetan, but it's long prior Tibetans. It's Sumerian and long prior Sumerian. It's Adamic race, actually. It's one of the first exercises. What we were doing all on that time to remember where we are coming from, how we are interrelated with the universe, and how we are interrelated with the single one heart. The exercise, actually, this is the title, the Father Universe Heart. The exercise is very simple, less than 5 minutes. The only thing you have to do out there, just relax, just close your eyes, and very important, be again a child. Do not judge. Do not let your left brain, the logical side, to start to analyze. Just let any image, any feeling, anything that comes to you, it's very welcome. Doesn't matter if you feel happy or unhappy, doesn't matter if you feel warm or cold. It is a clear balancing and harmonization of your mental, emotional, and physical body. So let it be exactly how it's coming to you. So completely relax. Always when I do this exercise, I'm bringing people in their heart. It is very important to bring our consciousness, our spirit, from the brain to the heart. We are using an imagery exercise, which is very simple. So, first thing, you just close your eyes, completely relax. And very important, inhale and exhale 3 times. A normal, breathe in through your nostril. But when you exhale through your mouth, long and slow. And when you exhale, let all your problems, issues, concerns to go away. And effectively, literally, you inside of you are thinking exactly that when you exhale. You inhale, exhale, and inside of you, you are thinking, I let all my problems, all my issues, all my concerns to go away, all my healthy problems. So 3 times. Now completely relax. See, sense, and feel. There is a set of stairs which goes from your brain, right from the middle of the brain, down to your middle of the chest area. You might see like a spiral stairs. You might see like a ladder. Any type of stairs. And with your intention, it is very simple. Trust yourself. Don't judge. Move your consciousness, your spirit, using these stairs. Go down, pass the eyes level, go down inside the mouth level, enter throat, go down until you arrive in the middle of the chest area. There, gently turn to your left. There is a door there, which brings you right inside of the heart. Open the door and step inside of the heart. Now, very important, close the door behind you. There is a tendency for spirit and consciousness to go back in the brain because we were there thousands and thousands of years. So close the door behind you. Whatever you see in your heart, it's another universe. It's beautiful. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you some images. So feel first the energy of the heart. Take a moment. Feel this purity, love, harmony, beauty. The characteristic of the heart. When you inhale there, you have this sweetness. And now, breathe out just one time. And I am starting the exercise. So, see, sense, and feel that you are now in the middle of the universe. Right into the universe heart. And feel how the universe heart pulsates all around you. A gently and tender heartbeat. See, sense, and feel a point of light that pulsates inside of your heart. The point of light expands and contracts with strong, regular movements. Feel the waves of light generated by the point of light that pulsates inside of your heart. You can hear a regular throbbing sound coming from the point of light that pulsates inside of your heart. Now gently feel how your pulsation and universe's heart pulsation unified and become one. Feel the unity of the hearts and feel just one heartbeat. The point of light from your heart is connected with the universe heart. Now breathe out just one time. And see, sense, and feel that you need to reach the level of total unity with every other person around you in order to hear the heart of the universe. Try to bring inside of the universe heart all the people who you had a conflict or disagreement and feel the differences between their heartbeat and the universe heart. And help these people to rise to the same level of unity as you are now, and see, sense, and feel how that they can merge with your heartbeat and universe heart. And finally, see, sense, and feel that now you are like one person with one heart, all over this planet. It is just one heart. Now we breathe out one time, we open our eyes, and of course, if you want, you can write down your experience, whatever you experience in this exercise.
And we can even extend it a little longer if next time you do it, you want to take more of your time in that space. It's quite easy to redo it by ourselves too, right?
It is. The only thing when you do by yourself, you have to be aware when your left brain kicks in. There might be a tendency to analyze and to see from the perspective of a logical side. When somebody is telling you to do it, you become again a child, and you just do it. And that's very powerful. But of course you can do it by yourself. And if you are one of the person who is very intuitive, very feminine, and you can stay in an image more than what we've done now, which is probably around 30-40 seconds per each exercise, of course you can extend and try to stay there in your heart and try to balance your mental, emotional, and physical body with the exercise. Sure.
Because during the workshop, I know it was a little bit longer, and I've included all of you guys have watched it, all the juicy co-creators around the world. I've included them in that pulsation, and then I've added all the people on the planet, and it was so beautiful and so natural, and it felt so right. I felt so good, and what a beautiful vibration that is to then come into the world and that we then operate from that space and we act and we put things out from knowing that we're all interconnected like that. So thank you for this beautiful exercise, Daniel. I know there's many more, but this one was truly delicious. Thank you. Last little word?
I wish all of us to be one heart, exactly how it is in this exercise.
Thank you. Much, much love, my delicious co-creators. We send you many blessings from beautiful, sunny Cyprus. End of October. Oh my God. This is a blessing.